Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm just going to get straight into it. I'm going in with the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Ebony, and I'm using the Anastasia Angled Brush, I believe, in number 12, and I'm just lining the bottom and just filling everything in, and I don't really do the top too much. I just, like I said, fill it in, and I go from like the top to the bottom just so I get more of a blended, like a faded look. So you'll just see me go further up in the front, and I just move the brush like upward to just kind of blend the product. I'm now taking this small definer flat brush. This is from Real Techniques. I've had this brush for a couple years now, and this is my favorite brush because it gets everything. It's so detailed and small, and I don't have to worry about any mistakes. And I'm just cleaning everything up, making sure it's sharp and clean. And I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in a shade Fair. And I use a lighter skin tone because I want it to be more bold so that you can see it more rather than my skin tone. You won't be able to clean it up as well, get more of a sharper line than you would want to. So I go in with a lighter shade. So now I'm just using my finger to blend out the concealer that I put down. And I use my finger because it really just blends out the product nicely. The warmth from your finger just melts the product like into your skin, so I think it works better than using a brush. And now I'm just doing the same thing to that I did to the bottom as I do to the top, and just cleaning everything up. I'm now taking this definer pencil. This is Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. It's an ultra fine brow defining pencil. So I'm just using this to make the lines more sharp and just filling anything in that it looks maybe empty or look like it needs to be filled in a little bit. And it has a spoolie on the other end, so you can flip it over and brush your hair out with that. So it's really convenient. I like this little brow pencil. And I'm going back in with the Anastasia number 12 and just going back in and making it more bold at the top, even though I said I didn't want to. I guess it wasn't just to my liking, so do it however you want. Primed my eyelids with the Shape Tape Tarte Concealer, and you guys don't have to use eye primer. You can use whatever you want. And I blended like a maroon, burgundy, and some oranges with the Morphe 350 M palette, the matte palette, and I'm using the Sephora Pro blending brush. It's the large number 27, and I'm just using windshield wiper motions in my crease, going back and forth, just mostly focusing it on the outer corner of my eye and just making sure everything is blended nicely. I'm now going in with my Morphe M433, and I'm using one of the burgundy maroon shades from the Morphe 350 M palette, and I'm just intensifying a little bit. This brush is a little more dense and packed than the Sephora Large Pro blending brush was that I used, so I can just get in more of a specific area and just define it a little bit. I'm now taking a smaller definer brush, and this is from the Creme Shop. This is like an old brush, some generic brush that I've had for a little while now, and just taking the red burgundy color from the 350 M palette and just defining the outer crease and just my whole crease, little my upper lash line a little bit, as you've seen, and then taking the larger Sephora brush that I had used before, just to, oh, and I also took some of a transition shade from that palette, maybe a lighter tanner or orangey color, and just blended everything together. Again, not going in with more products, just using what I already had on the brush, or using something really light to just blend everything together and make it seamless. And you want to go in windshield wiper motions, kind of like circular motions, and just back and forth motions, and use really light pressure when you're doing this. You don't want to be too heavy. You don't want to smear anything or anything like that. And now I'm packing this color on with my finger. I use my finger because it transfers the color onto my eye better sometimes than a brush would. So yeah, I just like use my finger, and don't go too much into the crease or it will become too like smudgy. And yeah, so this color is from the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette in the shade Bless Her Heart, and I wanted to use like a greenish color for Christmas or whatever, even though it's not all that Christmassy. I still wanted to try something new. And going in with that little detailer brush again, and I put like some darker browns on my brush so that I could intensify the crease even more after putting on the green, and just blended everything together. So I wanted to lighten up the green and add some shimmer, so I used the shade Luscious from the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. And this is like a pinky, warm tone, silvery, like a cool tone, warm tone type color. And I just put that over the green. And then I used the Morphe M433 brush that I had used before, just to blend out my crease and just make sure everything is smooth between my eyelid where I put the green and the maroons and the burgundies that I had placed in my crease. Next, I'm going in with my foundation, and I use the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy Plus Smooth, and this is in the shade 115 Ivory. And this was like a little dark for me. Maybe honestly it wasn't, but I thought it was. So I mixed some of the, and I wanted more coverage as well, I mixed some of the Master Conceal from Maybelline. It's the Face Studio by Face Studio. And it just kind of lightened it up a little bit. And then I used my Beauty Blender just to blend everything together. And there's no precise way about doing this. Just literally blend it all over your face. And if you want more coverage, use more products. I don't like too much coverage, but today I was going for something a little more heavy because this look is just a little more dramatic. So yeah. And going underneath my eyes with the Shape Tape Tarte Concealer that I had used for my eyebrow to conceal my eyebrows, and just applying this everywhere underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, on a little bit on my forehead, and on my chin a little bit, and just go on the areas that you really want to accentuate and highlight. I don't put too much on my forehead or on my chin because I have a big forehead and a big chin, so my face is a little long to me, so I don't like to accentuate those areas too much. But I do like to do the my under eyes a lot because I have dark under eyes, and I just think that it looks good on my face. So just apply that everywhere you want. And taking my Beauty Blender, I'm just going to blend everything out, starting from the chin, the top of the mouth, underneath my eyes. And yeah, you want to move kind of quick with this concealer because this concealer does dry kind of fast, so you don't want it to become real sticky and almost unable to blend out. So move kind of fast when you're working with this concealer. Don't say I did not warn you, okay?
Tonight we will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah.
took this little definer brush. This is from Sonia Kashuk. It came in one of her collections. I got it from like Target or something a little time ago. And I'm just using this for my forehead and down the bridge of my nose because it's small and detailed, and it just keeps the product where I want it. Rather, as me using a sponge, it kind of just blends everything together. So I use it afterwards to just make the lines nice and seamless.
We are heroes tonight.
And I'm using the Airspun Loose Face Powder in the shade Neutrally Neutral and just setting my under eyes with this Real Technique sponge. I use the Real Technique sponge because I don't want to use my actual beauty blender, because I like to use separate sponges for separate things because the wet and the dry does not go together. So you don't really want to put wet product on your dry sponge that you've been using powder on. You can, but I just don't like to do it. And taking this little definer brush, this is one of the Sonia Kashuk brushes that I had got from her collection, and just dusting away all the excess powder that I had left on my face, because you don't want it to be too powdery. So wipe everything away, and then I use this Real Technique big powder brush, and just apply the powder over the rest of my face because I did not get it with a sponge as well. I got the center of my face. So, and you can do this as heavy as you want. If you like a lot of powder, do a lot of powder. If you don't like a lot, then don't do a lot.
From town to town,
Now I am using the M527 brush, and this is just like a fluffy bronzing brush. Yeah, I really love this brush because it's still a little like precise while being fluffy. So yeah, it just disperses the product very nicely. And I'm using the Chocolate Soleil Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Medium Deep bronzer in the shade Medium Deep, and I like a matte shade so that it really defines, and I'm not really going for that bronzy look. And I just hit my cheekbones, temples, top of the forehead, underneath my chin. Make sure you get down your neck so that your face isn't lighter than the rest of your body, and just blend everything nicely.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can.
Now going in, this is the Morphe M523, and I'm just taking the same Chocolate Soleil matte bronzer that I had used before to bronze, but with a smaller brush, just to define everything a little bit more. Cheekbones, temples, tops of the forehead, and you can see that I didn't really do the tops of my forehead too much because I had already hit it with the big bronzer with the more fluffy brush. So I just mostly get my cheekbones because that's just where I like to focus the product when I'm doing my makeup.
To Taiwan, I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight.
Next step is blush, and I'm using the Milani powder blush in the shade Romantic Rose #1, and I'm using the Luxie 660 brush. This is a precision foundation brush, and I use this brush because it's small and fluffy, and I don't use this brush for foundation. I just love this brush for blush. So yeah, use whatever you want. And I just put this on the apples of my cheeks and blend it up to my contour so that everything is nice and seamless.
Tonight, we will fly up.
And I was going to do my highlight. I started using this little highlight that I have in my hand. It was from an Ipsy glam bag that I had got a while ago. And y'all, it sucked so bad. So I just stopped using it and just moved on to the next step. So I did my other eye off camera. I'm finishing up this other eye. I'm doing my lower lash line using the Creme Shop brush that I had, a little detailer brush that I had used before for my upper eye, and just hitting it on my lower lash line using one of the burgundy maroon colors. Next, I'm taking this little it's an even smaller brush than the Creme Shop brush. It is a Morphe E36 brush, and I'm taking the green shade. It's called Bless Her Heart, and just putting that on the inner lower lash line and my tear duct just to get everything green. I don't know why I wanted everything green, I just did. And then I'm using this ColourPop black eyeliner in the shade Swerve just to get my waterline, and I touched up the other side a little bit as well too because I didn't think that it was dark enough. And you guys can use whatever kind of liner you want. If you want to use a nude, if you want to use a white, use whatever you. If you don't want any, don't use any. And this next step, I am using the Nikki Tutorials. This is just the black precision liquid art liner, and this is with her Too Faced collection, and I'm just dragging the wing out from the outer corner of my eye, just however big you want the wing. If you want a smaller wing, do a smaller one, but I wanted a more dramatic one. And then just lining my whole eye, my whole upper lash line with the liner. And once you have the lash line basically lined, you want to just fill the whole wing in. So just fill everything in, and you can really do this however you want. It takes time to get used to wing liners, so it's gonna, if you gotta take it off and retry, then you're just gonna have to do that. So, and that eyeliner started acting real dumb for me, so I had to switch. I'm using the Ico London Skinny Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Black, and this was much easier for me. So as you can see, I started to detail it a little more and get it the way that I wanted.
Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear.
So I went back in with the original liner that I had used to begin with to just like fix anything up, or just if I seen anything that I needed to sharpen up, that's what I did, and I just added some details.
Trying to protect your soul. We are heroes.
Next step is highlighter. I'm going to use the Laura Mercier highlighter in the shade Indiscretion, and I'm using one of my fan brushes from Morphe. It is the M310, and I love this fan brush. It works so good. I have another fan brush from Morphe, but it's not as good, so I really recommend this brush. And just going down the bridge of my nose and hitting my Cupid's bow, the tops of my cheekbones.
We'll fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah.
Touches, I used the Physicians Formula Insta Ready setting spray and just set my face. And I also did mascara. I curled my lashes, and I used the Maybelline Lash Sensational on my eyelashes. This is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, and I'm just using this to make my eyebrows stay in place and make sure there's no stray hairs going crazy during the day. And guys, we're down to the last steps. This is the Lord & Berry lip liner in the shade 3035 Nude Lip Liner. That's the shade, and I love nude lip liners for my skin tone because I am very pale, and I just like the way that nude looks with my skin tone. So you just want to outline your lips. I'm not filling them in or anything like that. I just want to define them a little bit. And now I'm using this liquid lipstick. This is Jeffree Star's Velour liquid lipstick in the shade Mannequin, and just applying this all over my lips. Lastly, I'm applying lip gloss to my lips, and this lip gloss in this tube looks very pink, but really when it comes out the bottle, it's like clear, And you guys, I love this lip gloss. It doesn't even have a name. Like, it's not any specific huge brand that everybody know about. It's just, I don't know. I've had it in my kit for years and I just love it. So yeah, I'm just applying that all over my lips. And that's the completed look. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.
We are heroes tonight.